So this is not an easy thing in this day and age. It's not an easy path to walk because we've lost a lot of guidance. We've lost a lot of elders and role models and wise men, mainly in Western culture. You know, there are people that do have these elders and these guides, but it's scarce for a lot of us, and it's hard. It's a hard path to walk, but it's possible. So I think the main key to walking on this path is initiation. And you know, there's a lot of guided initiation out there. There's a lot of people that run, say, workshops initiating people. But for those of you who don't really have access to that, or that doesn't really feel like your thing, I think the easiest way to self-initiate, one of the oldest ways, would be a wilderness quest or a vision quest. And this would be taking yourself out somewhere remote, and you won't eat or drink for 4 days, and you'd make a circle, make a safe space, and you'd just sit there. You'd sit there and you'd face yourself. You'd face your fears. You'd face your shadow. You'd face the uncomfortability of death. You'd work a lot of things out. You'd find yourself. You'd find out who you are underneath our ego structures. The structures in our minds which say, this is who I am. I have to hold all this stuff together. It's not you. There's a deeper person within us all. A deeper wisdom. And if we go through our whole life not finding that, especially as young men, it's hard. It's hard, and it gets chaotic and very messy in our relationship to other people. You know, it could be a relationship to your partner, your friends. You know, you don't want to just walk through your life just blind, just thinking you're amazing. Having your ego just blown out of proportion, just too inflated. It's really important for us as men to be deflated, to be totally shit scared out of our minds, out of our wits. totally afraid. You know, there's like ancient initiations. Just go back, like, you know, to the Neolithic times, closer to the caveman times. And yeah, the oldest form of initiation, you'd send a young man and he'd go fight an apex creature, you know, an animal that would hunt and usually kill people, a predator. And you'd go and you'd slay the creature, you'd face your death, and you may die, and that's fine. That's the point. You're realizing that we're spiritual, eternal beings. You're realizing things beyond this physical body, and that's the whole point of these trials. We're realizing something deeper and greater than ourselves and our physical body. And you know, and then there's other initiations of plant medicine, which, you know, totally blow us apart and scare us to our core. And through that we find a deeper meaning to life, a deeper aspect of ourself, and how to move through the world in a healthy way. So you're letting the ego self die for you to be reborn. And you know what we lack is, in Western society, what we lack is these elders to guide us around this experience and bring us back in a healthy way, and to teach us wisdom of what it means to be a man and to walk as a man. But it's still possible, you know, if you've been on this path of learning about different cultures and spirituality and tribal cultures. If you're someone who has learnt about that and is interested in that and understands these aspects of being a good human being and walking a beautiful way, a beautiful path, the red road, as the Native Americans say. And I think there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of young men and even older men that don't quite understand the nature of men. You know, they think it's all like dominate, like this macho facade, like dominate, have power over people, like, you know, don't take shit, like fuck people up, whatever, be hard. don't show your emotions, don't talk about your emotions, all this really unhealthy macho bullshit. And, I have compassion. I have compassion for people that are stuck within these mindsets because we lack the guidance. We don't have positive male role models, like strong male role models. A lot of us, and I will say it again, I'm talking mainly about this Western society. And I know in America there's still quite a lot of Native American tribes that are re-practicing and practicing and bringing back, their spiritual practice, and there's a lot of wise people and guidance there, and um, some of them may be reluctant to share those teachings with someone who's not native, but there are some who understand that we're all human beings. So yeah, what was I going back to what I was saying about this delusion of masculinity, and yeah, it's not all macho. It's not all that. Masculine nature is calm. It's gentle. It's strong. It endures. If someone, if say, for example, a woman, and as women, their nature is to test our strength. It's something that's just built into them, and we should learn to love it as men. And you may be tested by a woman. She may say something that's nasty, and it may trigger you, and you want to dominate and shut her down, cut her down, and be abusive. You may shout. It's not the right thing to do. It's not a masculine quality to try and overpower or control the situation. If someone, and it doesn't even have to be a woman, anyone says something to you unkind, if you can endure that, if you can just take it and stay centered, and you remember who you are, that's a powerful thing. It's a powerful masculine trait, to be strong. Things don't affect you. You're a rock, You're a rock. Our role, they say the the dynamic between male and female energy. It's like the female is the if you imagine like a magnet, like female is like the negative side, and not negative in a negative way, like negative as like the opposite side of the pole, if you understand what I mean. Like even the north and the south pole, like it has its purpose, but it has like a pulling nature, a receiving nature, and you can imagine it as the vagina. You know, it takes in, it receives, and the male aspect is the positive, which goes out and, you know, it penetrates. And our nature, and why I say like positive and negative, it's like the female energy is going to test and, you know, make fun and be catty, but it's for us as men to stay within that positive, happy framework, which is constructive, to be a constructive part of society. You know, we don't want to be destructive, we want to be constructive. We don't want to tear people down, we want to lift people up. We want to lift the community up. The people around us, we want to lift them up. Our women, we want to accept their nature, love them, and lift them up. Because we are the leading energy. But you can only lead with that positive, constructive, loving, gentle, calm nature. And, you know, and even in relationship to children, you know, we want to lift our children up. We want to be constructive to the influence we have on their lives. Yeah, going back to, you know, the path of initiation, it's so important that we connect to our creator, our source, find out what that means for us, and we learn how to stay connected to that. Because, you know, it's so easy to become addicted to things, addicted to people. You could become addicted to a relationship, and we lose ourselves, we lose our source, and then we struggle. So we need to, first of all, find our creator, in whichever way you choose, some form of initiation. And then the thing is this practice of going through trials, these spiritual trials, these things that are hard, this is not something you do it once and then that's it. you're that forever. No, it's something you're going to have to pursue, practice throughout your life. It's walking on the beautiful path. That's what it is. That's how we stay strong as people, and especially how we stay strong as men. We need to find ways to clean ourselves, to put ourselves through trials of struggle and endurance to stay strong. And yeah, especially if you're in a relationship with someone, it's so easy to become addicted to that relationship, to those feelings, and that person. It's so easy to become addicted to that person, and we really lose ourselves. We lose our connection to our source. If you were on your own and you're just like on the grind and you're just doing all this shit that you should be doing to better yourself, and you're connecting to your source, generally that may be easier to some degree. It's different for many other people, because I know from my experience, like times when I've been alone and I'm like, oh, I'm free, like usually I will get into some bad habits. I'll eat too much, or it used to be using a lot of drugs, but I stopped that. Stopped that some time ago, and it kind of just turned into, I'll just eat loads of food, and I was numbing myself. And it wasn't really until someone came into my life that I was like, right, I've really got to like step it up a gear. I've got to really better myself so I can show up in a good way. Yeah, so that will vary, but and it's wherever you're at. If you're connecting to what I'm saying, and you're like, yeah, that's it, like, then that's the path you're on. But if you're within that place where you may be just stuck in old patterns and karmic patterns, and you may be, at the moment, you may be in addiction to someone or something, you're using something as a crutch, like, but you can still, your spirit sees something higher. It's like, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Do not be hard on yourself. You're where you need to be. You're exactly where you need to be. And it has a process. The main thing is if you've got that light at the end of the tunnel, you're good. You're good. Keep looking at that light and don't give up. It's all fine. It will all work out. Where your energy flows, or where your consciousness goes, your energy flows. You may be in this turmoil, this difficult stuff, but like, there's something in you. Your consciousness is like, there's more out there. There's more to me. There's more to myself that I can become. So don't be hard on yourself. Like, It's all fine. We need to experience the hardship. We need to experience the opposite side of the coin to realize the side which we would prefer to be on. You know. So that's going to wrap it up. Boosh.